I know sometimes it's a lot easier to focus on what's wrong rather than trying to find a solution. And it's because our brains are wired that way. And it's okay. Sometimes it takes a moment. You have to take a beat to really look at how you can pull back from being sucked into that place where it's like all you see is the problem, all you feel is the problem. You can't think of anything outside of that. And it takes work. It takes work to recognize when you're in it, when you've been sucked into that vacuum, and it takes work to come out of it, right? There's a saying in recovery that says, simple, not easy. The practices are simple. Actually applying them in the moment, we know that's not easy. And so sometimes that looks a lot like having to recognize and pause rather than push and keep going. And that's really hard in our society to be able to take a break to do that. We are taught to push through things and to keep going. We are taught to ignore our feelings. We are taught to ignore our needs. Heck, we're even taught to ignore our desires and our wants because we have to be this functioning part of society to just keep going like we're robots, but we're not. We have feelings, we have needs, we have desires, we have emotions, we have not so good things that sometimes we have to work through. And I also go through that, right? I am a work in progress constantly. And chances are, if you're following me, you are too, and you get that. And one thing that I have always thought was important is transparency. I never pretend to be some put together, perfected human because I'm not. If you know me, you know I'm a hot mess. So I am very much a work in progress. But here's the difference. I actually do the practices that I teach. I walk my talk. And if you've worked with me, you know that because, there's a lot of people out there that will learn modalities just to learn the modality, and they take it and they run with it. And because they are smooth talkers and they don't mind kind of playing the psychological game, they just take it and run with it, and they are using it as a moneymaker while not actually using it for themselves. They're not actually walking their talk. And when you find people like that, because they can only take you so far, and you'll notice that it feels stagnant. And that's because people can only take you as far as they have been willing to take themselves. And it's unfortunate because there's a lot of people that jump onto whatever is trendy. Right now we're seeing this huge rise in somatic work. Well, I was learning that before it became popular. And I'm still going strong in it because this work has explained the missing pieces of the work I've been doing for over 20 years. And so it's been an amazing process to get the evidence, the science, the neuroscience behind why those things work and the impact it has made, and also to better understand how trauma impacts the brain, because it does. It creates changes within the brain. And this is why when we experience something that's really traumatic, we're not the same. And yet oftentimes what we experience is we want to be that same person, and it becomes this disconnect. It becomes this resistance, this struggle, because we have this deep inner craving, a knowing of how we once were, and we want to be that same person that we were before that trauma. But unfortunately, we're not the same because we changed. We changed physiologically in the body. We changed the way that our brain processes, or the way our brain even activates in situations. We have changed in the way our nervous system responds, because now it's got a new pattern that it's latched onto for safety and security, for your survival. And so instead of continuing to live in that place of dissonance where you're in a constant state of internal struggle, not happy with self because you're trying to be something that you are no longer. It also teaches this radical path of acceptance where you get to just step into being who you are without all of the weight and the heaviness that is attached to you by wanting to be something that you're not in this moment. And I know that that's a big concept that requires a lot more depth than just this little nugget here. But I just wanted to share that because I think it's important that we know and we can share and we can resonate and we can relate to that aspect of the work. Right? We all have had some sort of trauma in our lives. And even if you've had, if you were lucky enough to have an easy breezy life where you're like, I've never experienced a traumatic experience. That's incredible. I am so very happy for you. But there is still a generational trauma that is carried within our genetics, within our genes, within the way our nervous systems are already responding. Like, did you know that your nervous system patterns begin before you even come out of the womb? Your nervous system runs imprints from your mother and the way she was feeling while she was pregnant with you. This amazing work I learned in a neuroaffective touch. And this doctor was teaching about how the nervous system imprints begin in the womb space. So how your mother was feeling while she was carrying you, the different nervous system patterns that she was running, and the strong emotional states she experienced during her pregnancy have a large impact on the way your nervous system reacts and responds to the world when you're born. That's incredible. That information, that is some powerful information. And if you have experienced something where you're like, I have no idea where this pattern came from or why I feel this way, why I react this way, and you can't find something within your lived experience of memories that share that, maybe start thinking about what your mother was going through when she was pregnant with you. And does that lend any answers? There is so much to this work, and it is such powerful work. Simple, not easy. But I think it's so important to remember that we're not here to be perfect. We are perfectly imperfect, and it is okay to be right where you are. There is nowhere else that you are supposed to be. There is no other version of you that you are supposed to be in this moment. You are the you that is right for this moment in time. So hold on to that. Blessings.